And I ask that, wow, that's not usually true. It's not. Now I broke it. Okay. Jerry says real close to my mouth, so I can do that. Okay, I'm asking that you stand for the posting of the colors by the Westbrook Village Posse. The Posse color guard is Paul Schultz, Ed Pulte, and Melinda Terrell.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bomb bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you. Honor guard dismissed. It's my privilege to get to introduce to you your board of directors. It's been a wonderful year working with them. I appreciate all their efforts. First up is myself. My name is Amy Miller, and I'm the board president. I'm the Architectural Control Committee chair of the Cornerstone. I served on the Long Range Planning Committee, the Ways and Means Committee, and the 2024 Budget Committee. Next up is Board Vice President Michael Green. He's chair of the Landscape and Facilities Committee, and he's chair of the Personnel Committee. Next up is Board Secretary Max Allen. He chaired the Recreation Committee, and he's also served on the Cornerstone Committee. Board Treasurer Jerry Johnson. The committees he was on were the Architectural Control, Governmental Relations, IT, Personnel, Town Hall, Ways and Means, and 2024 Budget Committee Chair. Wow. Right, Jerry. Okay, and then Steve Merkovich. He was on the Landscape and Facilities Committee, the Long Range Planning Committee Chair. He was on Personnel, Ways and Means, and the 2024 Budget Committee. Board Member Gary Harmon. He was on the Landscape and Facilities Committee. Board Member Kim Raz. She was on the IT Committee, the Recreation Committee, and the Cornerstone Committee. At this point, I'm going to ask Secretary Allen to do the proof of call and proof of quorum.
First one is proof of call. Pursuant to Article 3, Section 5 of the bylaws of Westbrook Village, written notice of the annual meeting stating the date, time, and place of the annual meeting was mailed to each member on February 21, 2024. Not less than 10 days, nor more than 50 days before the date of the annual meeting. The proof of quorum, pursuant to Article 3, Section 6 of the bylaws of Westbrook Village, at any meeting of the members of the corporation, the presence in person or by valid absentee ballot of members holding 30% of the votes eligible to be cast at a meeting of members shall be necessary to constitute a quorum. There are 3,910 members in Westbrook Village, making the quorum 1,173. Article 103708 of the Nonprofit Corporation Act grants a corporation the ability to take any action by written ballot that may be conducted at any annual meeting. Since we do have the quorum, I declare we do have a quorum.
Thank you, Max. Okay, we're moving on to approval of the minutes from the March 15th, 2023 meeting, and I believe most of you might have received those in your mail, or else there's copies attached to this agenda. May I have a motion for approval of those minutes?
So moved.
That was by Mike Green. May I have a second?
Second.
All right. And no corrections, so I will call for a vote on the minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you all. Next up, and one of the reasons why we are here is that we're having an election. And I'd like to announce the candidates, and I'm announcing them in alphabetical order at this point. First is Max Allen, Bob Canaro, Timothy Davis, Bruce Garrison, Michael Giroux, Jerry Heschel, Homer Landreth, and Marcy Renaud. And are there any additional nominations from the floor for anyone else? And it's noted that there are none. So therefore, I'm going to ask, if you haven't had a chance to cast your ballot, can you please go towards the rear of the room and do so at this point? Okay. Next up is my pleasure to introduce Karen Jones, our General Manager. We've had a great productive year, and I'd like to have Karen tell you about the state of our village. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. I'm going to adjust this real quick. All right, thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming out tonight. Can you hear me in the back? Thank you. First and foremost, I'm going to share something that was told to me years ago. Please silence your phones. This is going to be a long evening, and as the beautiful, talented Bonnie Franco once said, if your phone goes off during the meeting, you're going home with a puppy. So let's silence our phones. I don't have room for a puppy in my house. Good evening, valued Westbrook Village residents, and thank you all for coming out this evening. Thank you for joining us at the official 2024 Westbrook Village Association Annual Meeting. I'd like to thank you all personally for being the privilege of being your general manager for this exceptional community. Your continued inspiration, input, and confidence are truly appreciated. It's been a year since we gathered in this beautiful ballroom to discuss the health and the future of our beloved community. Seated before you this evening are your neighbors and friends. Many forget that these people sitting up at these tables are residents here just like you. They volunteer their valuable time to continue to improve and protect this amazing community that we all love so dearly. The Westbrook Village Board of Directors regularly face hard decisions and must choose to do what's best for the entire community as a whole. This in itself is not easy, but they do it well and with decorum. I stand here this evening feeling privileged to have been beside each of these great individuals. Your unwavering responsibility and guidance is beyond compare. Thank you for all for volunteering your time and energy. Thank you. On to our phenomenal community. Westbrook Village continues to be one of the industry-leading, unique active adult communities in the valley. Because of you, our residents. Without you, the word community has no meaning. What fun we have in this community. This evening I'm going to share with you some comments that I found that have been published about Westbrook Village. Fabulous homes in this highly sought-after Westbrook Village community. A bountiful lineup of amenities provide residents a large community feel with a small-town atmosphere. The tight-knit residents of Westbrook Village find it easy to get acquainted with their neighbors and meet new friends. Westbrook amenities, there is an inviolable lineup throughout the community. Rare opportunity to own a home in this prestigious community. Welcome to your beautiful oasis in the coveted active adult community of Westbrook Village. These are not things that we've said about Westbrook. These are what others are saying about Westbrook. All of this and so much more in prestigious Westbrook Village, which features 2 18-hole championship golf courses, resort-style amenities, tennis, pickleball, restaurants, and so much more. This property is located in the desirable active adult community of Westbrook Village. You'll love all the exceptional amenities. In the highly desirable Westbrook Village, where it's not just a neighborhood, but a special community. Welcome to Westbrook Village, a vibrant adult community offering all the amenities for a fulfilling retirement lifestyle. Don't miss your opportunity to enjoy the relaxed lifestyle of Westbrook Village. And the list goes on. I'm not going to bore you with any more, but I think I've made the point that Westbrook Village has become one of the premier HOAs in the valley. This is something that 10 years ago, many of these board members wanted to make that an accomplishment. They created a long-range plan. They've worked on financial responsibility. They've worked hard at doing this, and I think it's paying off. If you've all seen property values recently, you'll know that Westbrook Village is at the top. Westbrook residents, I think, are secrets out. Is that a bad thing? I don't necessarily think so. Congratulations, Board of Directors. You've accomplished what you set out to do. Your hard work is recognized and continues to support strong property values with safe and enjoyable living. For those of you that attended my GM coffee talk, we had the new City of Peoria Chief of Police join us. He was amazed at the safety that this village offers. Partially, largely due to our Westbrook posse. Can we give them a great round of applause? Without the posse, I don't think that would be a true statement. They are visible, they're available, and they continue to protect us. If you see the posse members, give them a wave. In the summer, give them a cool bottle of water. Anything you can do for them is greatly appreciated. What makes Westbrook Village so great? It's because you all help one another. Whether it's a phone call to check on your friend or neighbor that you haven't seen at a club room or at a sports court, whether it's positive reinforcement, meal sharing, transportation, food drives, coat drives, or just a friendly wave and hello. It all matters. Please continue to show human kindness each day. A smile and a wave can really make someone's day. If you're leaving for the summer, you've read the e-blast, the posse would love to have you stop in, fill out vacant home check. They check 100 to 200 homes every day during the summer. Doesn't matter if it's 120 degrees or if it's 70 degrees. They will walk around your property, they will make sure it's secure, the doors are closed, and the worst case scenario, there's no water coming out from under any doors. We haven't had that. So we laughed, but it was great that they were checking. You've heard this from me many times before. Feel free to bring us your suggestions, your comments, and your ideas. Also bring your problems to us. But as I tell my staff, please bring 2 possible solutions with that issue. Multiple people working on solutions work so much better than just one. Service Direct Landscape. We are at 3 years having them do our landscape in the community. We continue to get beautiful comments about how beautiful and well-maintained the community is. Mike Green knows, we talk about it every month at the landscaping facilities. We saved over 6 million gallons of water in 2023. That was a huge savings. With the rising water costs that we're all seeing at our residents, we're still saving money and doing the right thing. 6 million gallons of water. That's a lot. Thank you, Mike, and the Landscape and Facilities Committee and SDL. The Westbrook Living Magazine. Judy, are you here this evening? She's not. We all are so glad to get that magazine in our mailbox once a month. It's full of great information. We also publish it digitally online. If you see Judy out and about, please tell her thank you for all her hard work. She works tirelessly on that magazine day and night. She has a lot of deadlines to meet. If you've had a contractor that you're very pleased with, and you'd like to tell your neighbors about that, please recommend that they put an ad in that magazine. Judy has very affordable advertising rates, and we encourage people to look in the magazine for your vendors. Those are normally recommended by your neighbors. Now, let's talk about 2023 review. It was a busy year. We had so many things going on. Updates through many of the club rooms. The pottery room got an update. We put in a new air filtration system. The assembly room at the Falc, it got new lighting, paint, carpet, and audio-video system. The Lakes Complex, has anybody recognized the new roof tiles? They look wonderful. Thank you to the Architectural Control Committee for taking a chance and looking to the future and updating the roof tiles. We hear great compliments about that, and I think it looks fabulous. The front entryway. So many things have been done this past year. Ongoing repairs and painting of our 18.4 miles of walls. I don't know if anybody realized that. We're a 2 square mile community, but we have 18.4 miles of walls that we own and must maintain. The walkers, I think, know that. the people that walk the community. In 2023, the association spent $108,000 maintaining and repairing the walls. As soon as we get done at one end, we start at the other one, right, Sean? We just went over that map the other day. Sidewalk repairs, miles and miles of sidewalks. That's a constant check. Repair and replace of one of the 50+ air conditioning units, along with the day-to-day maintenance of these facilities, which are open 363 days a year from 5:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. That's a lot, and we do that with 32 staff members. Thank you to the staff. Our biggest project that we wrapped up this year was the Vista Swimming Pool. What a beautiful, relaxing, and inviting resort-style atmosphere. If you have not been by to enjoy the pool, put that on your list to do. The project did run past our deadline. We were supposed to be open June 1st. We ended up the end of August. Considering the trying times that we're all dealing with vendors, it wasn't fun, but we pursued and we got it completed. The grand opening event for the Vistas Pool was amazing. We had the steel drums and SDL cooked everybody dinner. I think they were surprised at how many people showed up for a free meal. They haven't volunteered to do it again yet, but it's on my list to ask. How many of you attended that grand opening? Great. I thought it was a great event, and SDL is a great partner in our community. Westbrook Commons. Once again, the Cornerstone Committee took on an area in the community that needed some love. They obtained donations, raised money, and made these great improvements. It is so nice to drive by and see neighbors meeting and using this area, as well as the reflection garden. The Horseshoe and Cornhole area. When the golf club first came to us and said we need to relocate our well, and it's going to be right where your horseshoe pits are, we were shocked. Well, not only did they get relocated, but by listening to Westbrook residents, it was improved to include 2 sets of cornhole boards. Many residents are using this area regularly. We're going to be planning an afternoon of fun at the cornhole and horseshoe area. Now the Cornerstone has volunteered to soften it up. They want to make it pretty. We put in the hard stuff, we leave it up to the Cornerstone Committee to beautify it. Westbrook Village Golf Club contributed to the relocation of the horseshoe pits. We recently received a check for $4,000. Thank you, Westbrook Village Golf Club. If you want to play horseshoes or cornhole, stop into the Lakes Rec Center, leave your PID, and they will be happy to check out all the equipment you need. Turf reduction. Have we mentioned that we just received notice that we were approved for a City of Peoria grant for turf removal on Rose Pilar and by taking the turf off the walls on Westbrook Commons. Westbrook Village was awarded nearly $16,000 that will be reimbursed to us by the City of Peoria when those projects are finished. Thank you, Cornerstone, again. All large-scale communities, such as ours, experience change, aging facilities, failing infrastructure, new trends, and ever-changing resident needs. We are no different. But the path we choose to move forward on determines our success. Long-range planning. They're always working on what and where to improve the facilities. Currently, they're working toward improving the fitness facilities. In 2024, they are hiring an architect to design the new facilities. Hopefully in 25, this project can begin. Our board continues to support fiscal responsibility, and I'm thankful for that, as you all are. Your assessments this year were a proof of that. Our expenses increased by 10.4%, but your assessments only increased by 3.7% due to CPI. Jerry Johnson's going to go into greater detail about the financial side of everything this year, so I'm not going to steal his thunder. Our volunteers, if any of you have witnessed our volunteers in Westbrook Village, it's beyond compare. Thank you to all of our volunteers for your time, energy, and smiles. Without you, we could not make any of this happen. Thank you. As Amy said, Bill Chisholm and Bill Wolf, those are the perfect example. They volunteered their talents tonight, but they had company waiting for them at home, so they snuck out the side door. Next, I'd like to bring up the Westbrook Village staff and team. If you guys want to step up here, that would be great. Sarah, John. I think Susan is still in the kitchen counting the in-person ballots. So I'm going to... So not standing up here is Susan Fabian. She's in the kitchen. They're working on the tally of the votes. To your right, my left, so give me a second. Sean Borenstein, Facilities Manager. Sarah Maxwell, Communications Liaison. Renee Larson, Executive Admin Assistant. Dwayne Michael, Communications, Compliance and Resale. Did you know that, Dwayne? You got a new title. You're doing compliance, Sarah. Did you know that? To Dwayne's right is Shelley Eichner. She is our face at the Westbrook Admin. Susie Wilson, Recreation Center's assistant. And new to us, just last week, our new Recreation Center's manager, Denise Murphy. Without these people standing before you, none of this is possible. I constantly remind people that it's unheard of to run this community 362 days a year, 5:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. at night. But they do it, and they do a great job at it. Thank you, staff. I'm wrapping it up so Jerry can take over. You've heard me often say you purchased your home here with an expectation and a lifestyle in mind. It is our job to ensure that happens by maintaining the common areas, fair enforcement of the governing documents, handling minor neighborhood issues, monitoring revenue and expenses, entertaining, answering questions, listening and guiding you, the residents of Westbrook Village. Can we make all 7,400 of you happy? I'd love to, but it's not possible. We all need to remember we have to do what's best for this community as a whole, and we pledge to do our very best and give it our all here at Westbrook Village. Thank you. Now I'm going to pass the microphone to Jerry Johnson.
Oh, yay, I get the best part. I want to ask a question. How many of you tonight, this is your first annual Westbrook HOA meeting? Raise your hand. Oh, wow, great, fantastic. Well, some of you heard what we've presented before on our financials. We're going to be real simple and flying kind of at 30,000 feet. Always remember that if you want to see our financials, you can make an appointment at the office and sit down and go through those if you would like. But make sure you call ahead of time and set an appointment. You certainly can go through those financials if you'd like. First of all, none of the financials would be possible in Westbrook Village if it weren't for a committee. And all committees are very important. But we have a committee, it's called the Budget Committee. They meet once a year. actually 3 times a year, all at the same time in October. And we go through line item by line item in Westbrook Village budget, and we determine what it looks like for the next year. In this case, it would be 24. We met in October of 23. And those that on the budget committee, I just want to recognize them because they put in many, many hours on the budget. There's the Ways and Means Committee. Number 1 is myself, Amy Miller, and Steve Merkovich, where we meet once a month to review all financials. And then on the budget committee, this last year, I chaired that committee. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you going to do that for me? Thanks, I forgot about it. Peter Atkins, I think he's up here in the front. Jim Schultz, he's over here. Ed Strother, I don't know if you're here, but thank you, Ed, for the committee. That was his first year on the committee. Paul Schnitsky, he's here someplace. There he is here. Amy Miller was on that. Steve Merkovich, a board member, was on that. And then we had 2 staff, of course, our general manager and our assistant general manager. They put all those numbers together in many, many hours. And so we're going to talk a little bit about those numbers right now. So now I need the laser thing.
Here you go.
Can I?
Here you go. Just remember to change the slide.
I will. All right. Some of these slides may be out of order, but I worked on my copy, so I brought both copies here for me. So it's better this way. All right, 2019-23 or 2023 financials. We're going to talk about, if you don't mind my back to you here, we're going to talk to you about the 23 financials, operating, and then the reserve, and then we're going to talk about 2024 this year and what it looks like for this year. First of all, there's another slide. Shoot. First of all, there's 2 funds we have. I'm just going to go over this one slide. We have an operating fund and we have a reserve fund. The operating fund is much like what you do in paying your monthly bills, your utilities, your gas, your food, and those kind of things. We do the same thing and we call it operations. And in that operations, we use it to manage the day-to-day operations of the HOA, which includes landscape costs, insurance, employee wages, benefits, repairs, maintenance, and utilities. And it's funded primarily by the annual assessment, which is $776.50 this year. You all got that for 2024. And just so for a reference, in 23, it was $748.80, and then in 22, we'll go back another year, it was $691.40 per home. Included in the operations fund budget in the amount, it is an amount to transfer to the reserve account, and we'll talk about the reserve in just a minute, in order to continue major improvements, especially now in 2024. Amounts budgeted to $125,000. That's for 2024. That's what the budget committee put in. Last year, we were able to take from the operations and transfer $225,000 from operations to reserve. Now, you'll probably ask, why is it so much less in 24 than it was in 23? Well, we all know that $4 in gasoline per gallon, roughly. Your food costs are higher, maintenance costs are higher, and it's no different to our association. It's the same thing. And so we're in our budget, we had to figure out where we were going to get the money based upon our 3.7% CPI index. That's all we could raise your assessments to. Even though our expenses are over 10% higher, we can only increase the budget by 3.7%, or to CPI, I should say, our income to 3.7%. So what we do with that is we manage a break even on our operations. We don't go over, we don't go under. Now, we love to go under, which I have some surprises for you here in a second, for 2023. So that's the operation side, everyday, today stuff. Now we have a reserve side. Reserve is maybe what you have like in a savings account, that you would buy maybe a new air conditioner, replace the roof, or something like that that are a major cost. Well, the HOA does the same thing on the reserve account, and that's used for major improvements, equipment replacement, infrastructure needs, and you wonder where do we get the money in the reserve account? And it's funded mainly by new homeowner preservation fees. Now, preservation fees, if you're not aware, especially you folks that raised your hand, when you bought your home, you paid a preservation fee, and it's around $3,700 roughly, $3,400. Yeah, for every sale. And so that money goes into the reserve, and that funds that for our major replacement equipment and infrastructure needs. We do an annual audit every year, and it ensures that the management we're managing it properly in each of the funds. And by the way, we do not commingle our reserve and our operations. So we don't say that, oh, we need some money for operations, so we'll just take it out of reserve. We don't do that. We don't commingle. So I just wanted to make that was real clear, and sorry about that slide. Okay, the next slide. Let's talk about our summary for 23 and what it looks like. You see a budget line and an actual line. In our member assessments, you see that we collected $2,927,000, and there is no variance. Obviously, 3,910 homes at $700 and some odd dollars, it stays the same no matter what it is, so you can see that line. We had some other revenue come in. We budgeted in 23 $311,000 extra dollars to come in, other revenue I should say. And then actually you'll see up here, you probably can't see it, right here, we had $603 come in actually. That's a lot more than $311,000. And that we collect for rec centers, for rentals, for our facilities here, for outside and for residents as well. Our RV lot, that's a major income for us, for our HOA. We had our resales, when homes are sold. And then ERC, which I'm going to talk about in a second. And so we had a variance then of $292,000 to the good, more than what we budgeted. So you see the totals there. $3,238,000 was budgeted. We actually did $3,530,000, and our variance was $292,000. Now, you say, what is ERC? ERC is what we call an employee retention credit. If you've come to any of our meetings, we've talked about this number and what it is. And I'm just going to, what the government says it is. It's a refundable tax credit for eligible businesses and tax-exempt organizations that had employees and were affected during the COVID-19 pandemic. Two things I want you to know that we need to realize. There were two qualifications in order for us to apply for that. One was that we had employees, and two, that they were affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. So Westbrook Village Association qualified and applied for this tax benefit and received $271,000 less $41,000 for processing fees, commission rates, and so on for getting that, because we did the paperwork, but we had other folks have to apply for us, and that cost us $41,000, resulting in a $230,000 benefit to the association. Now, you wonder, what did we do with that money? We haven't done anything with that money. We've invested it roughly around a 5% money, or in the market. So we're gaining interest on that money, and it's sitting in an account, and it's earmarked. Now, you probably did hear us talk about additional monies that were applied for. Yes, just to make sure it's real clear, we did apply for an additional amount, and we have not received that or heard back yet from that. Many of you have seen the advertisements on television for ERC. You'll see that many, many times. I don't know if you've seen it lately, but for over a year or 2 years, you would see that. So we took advantage of that, and it was advantage to you, our members, and the HOA, and we received that $271,000 less that $41,000 processing fee. Now, let's go back and look at our expenses. So that was our revenue for 23. Here's some of the expenses we had in 23. Admin expenses, we budgeted $260. We spent $312. We had $52,000 overage. And that was legal fees, accounting, ERC is in there for our fees that we had to pay. Computer software that we had to do, payroll, and so on is involved in that admin expenses. Our landscaping, we budgeted $837,000, and we spent $800,000, so we gained there. Staff and payroll benefits, you can see all across there. I don't need to mention that. You can see it on the screen, and all of those are on the positive side. So at the very end, we budgeted $2,980,000, and we spent $2,987,000. That's a $2,000 gain, or money that we didn't have to spend. And so that is positive, especially in the economy that we're seeing, the money we had to spend for additional maintenance and all of that. All of those increased costs, we still didn't go in the red. So you can see our totals. Our net surplus was $24,000. Our actual was $318,000. And remember the ERC, that is in there on our operations fund surplus ERC. All right? So our 23 operations fund surplus was $297 surplus after making an end-of-year $225,000 transfer from operations to reserve. Remember the 225. Again, in 24, it's $125,000. The above surplus included, of course, the ERC credit of $234. We had additional surplus from resale disclosure fees of $16,000. We sold more houses than we really budgeted. And so we had those additional funds, which was great for us. We had investment money that we've invested. We had $11,000 more than what we really budgeted, and so that's a plus for us. Employee wages and benefits ended under budget by $22,000. Thank you. That's a benefit to all of us. And this summarizes our strong financial oversight from the Ways and Means Committee, the Board of Directors, and I do want to say, excuse me, our staff really were watching the dollars that are given to them in their departments. Everything was watched, and we appreciate that, staff. You helped us out with that plus. And then our general manager, she manages all of these funds in a daily basis, by the way, for our numbers. And so thank you, Karen, for that, and we appreciate it. Okay, so we mentioned that your increase for the assessments for 24 was $27.70. That's not very much. In 23, it was 3.7% increase. In 2024, assessment is increased based on CPI, which is Consumer Price Index increase from prior year. The Consumer Price Index, by the way, we don't set. The Bureau of Labor Statistics sets that. They were established in 1919, by the way, and they've been doing this all these years. So we always go by the Consumer Price Index, and that's what we're allowed in our CC&Rs to raise our assessments. And thank goodness, because that helps us in paying our bills, even though we can only raise it 3.7, and actually costs are over 10%. Our current inflation impacts our budget. Staff and wages, as you know, staff and wages are increasing. Costs of supplies and in maintenance materials, landscaping materials, which we just had a lot done here at Westbrook. Other outside services, including insurance. How many of you have had your insurance rates go up? A lot? A lot. And Westbrook is no different. And so we have to live within our means there, but we have to pay that. Computer support, accounting, payroll, and all of that. So we are able to do that with that small assessment as well. So now, let's talk about the reserve fund. What's that? Oh. Let's talk about the 23 reserve fund. What happened with the reserve? Final 23 reserve cash fund on hand was $4,057,000. Reserve fund revenue positive variance of $168,000 due to resales and income. I'm sorry. I didn't do that on purpose. 23 reserve fund expenditures were $675,000. We budgeted $1.2 million. So we were really conservative, not knowing what was going to happen in 23. But we got still several projects done, and I can tell you that in the year of 2024, this year, we're going to see an increase of spending some more of our reserve on some numerous projects that have been targeted, hopefully to complete those in 2024. So, our reserve fund ratio at the end of 2023, was 123%. So you ask, what is the reserve fund ratio? We look at this all the time. Our budget committee, Ways and Means, Board of Directors, we always are talking about our reserve fund ratio. It's cash, a ratio of cash on hand divided by, I'm going to make sure I have the right slide up there, divided by the fully funded reserve amount, where the fully funded reserve amount is an independent appraisal performed by an outside agency. We have a reserve study done every 2 or 3 years. In fact, this year we're going to be doing that before too long for a new reserve study for the next 3 years, right? Yeah. Karen has it. See how thick that book is? We live by that book almost on a daily basis. And what that is an outside company that we hire identifies all of our assets in Westbrook Village. They take pictures of it and they put it in a book. It's valued and then it's given an age to when it needs to be replaced. Whether it's an HVAC unit, air conditioning unit, water heater, it just goes on and on. That book is full of it. And so we go by that. So that's our reserve study. And if we had to pay for everything that was in that book, which would be 100%, in this case, help me out, Karen, 3 million, I could go back. But anyway, whatever it was, we were funded, we could have paid for all of that at 123%. That's what we were funded. Now, the national average on that, roughly, is between 70 and 80%. We put 75 up here, but that's the national average for HOAs to make sure they have a reserve, monies in their reserve to fund at least 75% of what has to be replaced. We're way above that. So congratulations again. That what we do and how we manage our money here at Westbrook, we're all to be congratulated. You're all fortunate that we have folks that are able to do that. So let's look now at the reserve spending and what we did. Some of you might be interested. I'm not going to go through all these numbers, by the way. Our cash on hand at the beginning, $3,700,000. So our total cash, we had some income coming in from our preservation fees, transfer fees, and so on, $4,731,000. And we had expenditures in 23, and you see the list there. The biggest project was completing or spending money on the Vistas pool. And so you can see that number was 923, and in this 23 we spent 324. We just paid the rest of it. So that was the biggest one. Of course, we got perimeter walls. We relocated the horseshoes and the cornhole right behind us here. Sports courts, windscreens, lakes, walkways, irrigation lines, HVAC replacements, others. That's what we spent $674,000 on in 2023. So that left us $4 million, a little over. Our fully funded reserve was $3,286,000. That's what was identified in our reserve for 2023. And so that's where we got the 123% fully funded. All right? Now, let's just look back for 4 years if you want to see what we've been spending. So you can see in year 20, 21, 22, 23, those are the numbers. Our total for preservation fees for 4 years is $3,412,000. That's 77%. Our operations fund and our other. 77% of our reserve fund comes from new homeowners. All right? That's the preservation fees. 918 home sales from 2020 to 2023. That's a lot of homes that were sold that contributed to the reserve fund in the note of preservation fees. And that was an average of $3,742 per home. I will mention, some of you say that if you're a resident in Westbrook Village and you want to downsize from your home, let's say, to a casita, we don't charge you a preservation fee. And in 2023, Susan helped me out, I think it was over 50 that were waived. The fee of 30, whatever it was, preservation fee was waived because of home sales. Now, if you want to buy an investment home currently today, we don't charge you to buy an investment home and rent out. Now, I think that probably 3/4 in this room would say, whoa, 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 wait a minute, why don't we do that? Well, we can change that if you would like. And we change our CC&Rs, but we need every homeowner in this room to vote yes, plus about 2,000 more to vote yes, to change our CC&Rs, to change that. We we recognized there was almost 188,000, maybe 200,000 that we could not have as an income because we are nice people and we don't charge you all for your rental homes or if you want to downsize. So just so you know that, we'd love to change the CC&Rs and change that and modify that just a tad bit. All right. I was on my little pedestal like this when I was. All right, reserve fund spending history of 2023. You should notice that in 20 through 23, our infrastructure projects, our major projects, you can see our total reserve expenditures there. Some of those infrastructure projects were external paint and internal painting. Our common walls, as you know, we have 18 point whatever miles of wall we have to continually maintain. IT systems, we're constantly doing software updates that changes, as you all know, quite regularly. HVAC systems go out. You can't buy one for less than, I don't know, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. They cost more and they last less anymore. So that's some of our infrastructure. Our irrigation systems, as you know, you've replaced yours. We have to replace ours for the HOA as well, and that's expensive. Some of our major projects, as you see, our Vistas Pool, we're finished that. We're going to do some sound, some audio down there this year. Our 83rd Avenue sound wall, we maintained that, painted it, and did some repairs on that as well. So those were some of the identified reserve spending in the last 4 years. So, what's happening in 24? Here's what you can probably expect in 24. Our preservation fee is based on 150 new home sales. That's a little different than 225 we did last year. Our end-of-year reserve fund ratio continues to be solid at 117%, as you see at the bottom. You can hardly see that at the bottom. The bottom of that is 117%. Major expenditures for Lakes asphalt repair. Our parking lots here over on this side and Lakes here need some work. We're going to do some work on that. Our irrigation and some granite replacement has to be done, and some of our exterior walls repair and maintenance has to be done this year as well, which is continuing. So you can see those numbers. We have total cash available for reserve fund of $4,794,000. We expect in 2024 to spend $952,000, just shy of $1 million. And you can see the lakes, again, what we just talked about there. And so our cash on hand at the year of 24 we're projecting is going to be $3,842,000. Our fully funded reserve for this year is $3,286,000. That's the book, that's the reserve study, that's what they tell us. And so we use that figure and we come up with the reserve fund ratio for the end of 2024 of 117%. Yay, 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 yay. We're way on over countries at 75%. So thank you, Budget Committee, and all those that work on the budget. So, in summary, and I'll get out of here. Westbrook Homeowners Association remains a solid financial position. Our operating expenses align with our revenue, which is generated mostly from annual homeowners assessments. Beginning in 2024, our reserve fund ratio was $123,000. 2024 total reserve expenditures were $952,000. Our year-end balance at $3,842,000 in 24, and again, just to note, 117% fully funded ratio. So we maintain fiscal responsibility, and we invest in the future of Westbrook Village. Karen mentioned in her report, it's a great place to live. I can tell you, I have talked to more people that can't believe that Westbrook Village is as old as it is when they are driving by on Union Hills or when they come and drive through Westbrook or here visiting Westbrook. It is unbelievable what our community looks like as old as it is. And it's because of very good, sound financial management in our association. So give your all stars a hand for that.
Thank you. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you for all your hard work on our financials. You were a great help this year. We really appreciate it. The next part of the program is one of my favorites because we get to acknowledge and honor people who have gone above and beyond and devoted time and effort and sweat to making Westbrook Village the wonderful place it is to live. I'm going to let Karen review the people that have been nominated for recognition this evening.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Jerry. That was a great report. I'm with Amy. Where do we we start regarding our volunteers in this community? It starts with the posse, it starts with the residents. Westbrook Village saves nearly $10,000 a year due to our volunteers. Between the mailings, the voting, bingo, putting on events, and so many other things that they do here. Behind the scenes, they volunteer, they do filing, they do so much. They answer phones. Thank you just does not seem enough. First of all, we want to recognize Kim Mraz for their service on the Westbrook Village Board of Directors, Rec Committee, and everything that you do and continue to do in Westbrook Village. You're going to be truly missed. Next, Gary Harmon. Where do I start? Your many years of construction, project management, and safety experience has been so helpful to Westbrook Village. I hope it doesn't stop. I know where you live. Thank you for serving on the Board of Directors, LRP, and Landscaping Facilities. I don't believe they're here this evening. I think they've gone home for the night. Graham and Susan McDonald. If any of you have met Graham and Susan McDonald, they are what we have labeled volunteer extraordinaires. These two people are the, oops, sorry, dear. These two people are so willing. I'm going to try not to tear up. Susan volunteered so much this week, she made herself sick. She's not able to be with us tonight. So Susan and Graham McDonald, if you see them, thank them for all of their hard work for Westbrook. This next one,
Oh boy.
please forgive me. I'm going to try to get through this. Look at that picture. Jerry sat on my hiring panel 13 years ago. I knew then he was dedicated, professional, and a good human. Over the years, I've come to know the truly kind, dedicated, hardworking, willing to take on a challenge person that Jerry is. He is leaving a lasting impression on this community by his years of service on the posse, on the board, all the numerous committees that he volunteers to be on. He spearheaded the amendment initiative. He spends countless hours on audio, visual, multiple meetings, driving friends and neighbors to the airport, doctor's appointments, etc. If that's not enough, he volunteers at the City of Peoria. Jerry and Marlene, please know that you have made Westbrook Village a better place for each and every one of us. I said I was going to get through this, I'm sorry. I asked staff members to give some comments on Jerry because we work with him so closely. By the way, Jerry was given a nickname by the staff. You just heard him yell out, "Yay, Mo." What's Mo? Jerry's our master of everything. We even got him a name tag that says that. Here's one statement that came in. I must concur with Dr. Seuss. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. I am grateful to have worked so closely with Jerry as a board member, ACC member, and Master of Everything volunteer, in which I have been blessed with his kindness, wisdom, generosity, and humor. Wishing Jerry and Marlene all the best in their new life's adventure. Susan Fabian. I just wanted to thank Jerry for all his help since I've joined the team at Westbrook. No matter what questions I have had for Jerry, he was always available to help, to get the correct information to me. I am ever so grateful for all his hard work and dedication to Westbrook, and will miss him greatly. Best of luck on your move and your new home, Sean. You will truly be missed. Thank you very much. Now, I don't want to cry on this one either. This is Employee of the Year. This is voted on by their peers. This year we had a unanimous vote. The recipient of the Westbrook Village 2023 Employee of the Year is our very own Renee Larson. If you haven't met Renee, she is an exceptional human being. We're blessed to have her here. She is my right hand, my left hand. She does everything. She takes care of the RV lot. She takes care of landscaping. She even gives you that every 30-day call if you owe money. But if you can't hear it through the phone, I promise she's smiling when she makes the call. I don't know how she does it. She smiles when she makes those calls. Renee, again, Westbrook is better because of you, your dedication, your hard work, and your love and caring. Thank you for everything. Picture.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, cool. Where's the master of everything?
Jerry, we need your help. Susan. So, again, thank you to our volunteers and thank you to all the staff. Amy, I'm going to turn it back to you.
Renee's really good about returning my dorky puns on pizza dough. Every time we get a check from Papa Murphy's, she'll send me some kind of pun on pizza dough and the check. And that brings up that tomorrow is Third Thursday, so please go buy a pizza. But also next Tuesday, we're going to have a fundraiser with Culver's, and I know everybody finds something on the menu there to love, so let's overwhelm them at their drive-thru, and we can maybe pretty up the Horseshoe Cornhole area. Thank you. Okay, the next part of the program involves comments from the floor, so I'll put on my helmet. And does anybody have any comments or questions? I think they want you to come up over here if you would, please.
And if you would state your name and the subdivision you live in, please. Oh, of course, we made her come up with the...
I'm sorry
I'm so
you had
sorry.
to do that. I know that I see that.
Hello, I'm Julie McLeod. I live at 18833 North 96th Avenue, which would be in Lakeview Estates. I totally agree with all the comments to date about Westbrook Village. That's why I have had a property here since 1987. So I would like the former and future board members to carry on our great properties. Okay, I'm here today representing my neighbors from Lakeview Estates, Lakeview Terrace, and Fairway Springs. I am so glad that our financial position is what it is, and we've got 230,000 windfall, because I'm perfectly willing to relieve you of 8,000 of it today.
Okay, let's hear this.
Our problem is the closure of the path.
Use the microphone.
Our problem is the closure of the pathway on 96 and Terrell Lane into the Westbrook Village facilities. We have enjoyed, since conception here, since '84, zipping through there the shortcut. We could get to the pool area, the post box, administration office, restaurants, ballrooms, golf course, Sunday market pickets, place, to name a few. This walkway has been enjoyed by all of us for the last 40 plus years, and we appreciate every minute of it. It was recognized as a big perk when the developer UDC was selling houses in Lakeview Estates, and when the realtors sold houses in Lakeview Estates. Now this represents all of us able-bodied people, mainly able-bodied people. However, we have a population of elderly and disabled people in this area that surprised the heck out of me when I started a petition 6 weeks ago to get this pathway fixed. I met people with wheelchair-bound spouses, walker-bound spouses that have been able to walk through that pathway with the help of the city of Peoria when they conformed the sidewalks on 96th Avenue and Terrell Lane to give them a shot through the pathway. They enjoyed it immensely. They were able to get their loved ones up to bingo, the swimming pool, just a view out of their house window. They loved it and enjoyed it and used it. And I've had a pleasure of meeting many of these people.
I'm going to ask that you try to have some brevity now in your comments, please.
You want me to speed it up a little? All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Now this absolutely worked beautiful. And then 2 years ago, that pathway went to hell. It has not been maintained. It is dangerous. We couldn't let those wheelchair-bound people on it. It must be fixed. I am asking this board and this administration to spend that $8,000 and fix that mess for the enjoyment of all of us. Thank you.
Well, I have to say that they picked the right person to come out and talk to us. That was great, thank you. Karen and I met with the homeowner that owns that property and the city, and it was kind of left in the homeowner and the city's hands to come to some kind of resolution about that. But it's been a while, and I am really going to suggest that we revisit all that. It's time. I agree with that.
Thank you very much. Because intelligent, like-minded people can move a mountain. This is a answer. Let's get it done.
Thank
Long Range Planning Committee and new Vista Aerobics Vice President. I'm here to basically talk about the problems with the Vista Pool and to challenge the board or whoever's in charge to not make those same mistakes with the fitness center. I'd like to know how many of the board members have used the new Vista pool. Okay. When the plan was proposed, we were told the aerobics pool would extend where the water fountain was. But instead, we have a grill and tables there. We were told there'd be misters, but there's no misters. But the crucial part is that the depth you need to do water aerobics is about 3.5 feet. The pool starts at 3 feet. There are no wide steps. The step risers are not correct because when you enter the pool and hold the deal's things, you feel like you're going to fall. Just a minute. The tile on the bottom of the pool in the walking lane of the aerobics pool is slippery. Just to let you know, I had a major injury with my neck. And so in recovering, I would go to the pool, the Vista pool, and walk. Today, if I had that injury and was trying to walk, I might be in danger because you slip on that tile. When we do water aerobics, we need about at least 6 feet square. We go forward, we go back, and when I go back, when I went to use that, I slipped. I'm really scared about the liability because anybody with some kind of injury that way could slip and cause a problem. I also don't know why the shades were put over the swimming lanes because you do not lounge on the swimming lanes.
Joy, can you speed it up?
I will speed it up.
Thank you, thank you.
My suggestion was that somehow this was not supervised correctly, and I do not know who supervised it. But my suggestion is that anytime we have a major project, that we have a project committee of volunteers, of people that use that space. So if it's a fitness center, you need people that use that space to tell you what you need there. You can't have people that don't use those spaces making those decisions. And I know there's no, so to me, I think there needs to be a project committee that supervises a major project. And we have a lot of volunteers. I mean, we have some wonderful people here that maybe don't want to volunteer for 2 years to be on the board or for 3 years to be on Long Range Planning Committee. But they might be interested in giving us their expertise on a project.
Okay.
So I'm challenging you as the board, the new board, to basically try to focus on this so that we don't have $1 million mistake.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, my response to that was planning for the pool was in open committees for 8 months. And we always suggest that you attend our meetings, and they are advertised in our e-blast and on the monitors and whatnot. Please attend the meetings and give feedback. I think Joy had a great valid point. I'm talking now, Joy. I'm talking. Okay. Joy did have a point by let's refer to people that in fact do use those spaces. That's very, very valid.
I want to know who made the decisions. You know, I'm sorry, but there's no.
We hired a professional pool contractor.
Somebody told me to make us 3 feet. I'm sorry, but you guys,
Okay.
I've attended board meetings. I have attended rec
Okay,
meetings.
Joy, we don't let this meeting, go down into.
Well, I'm sorry, but, don't tell people to attend meetings, because I do, okay?
Which one? Are there any other comments?
Can I just talk here?
No.
Can't hear you, sorry.
I think we let the cow out before we closed the barn on that situation, because that pool was not put together properly. I'm Barbara Truson, I live in, over there. Ironwood Estates. The clock. Is it necessary to change those flowers from season to season? Isn't there another way that we could put something else in there so we don't have a floral expense annually? Drives me nuts.
Okay,
And the
it's
maintenance
interesting
of
you
it.
ask that, because I have designed a more mosaic insert for in there that would be, a permanent thing. So I'll gladly, if you stop by, I will send you pictures
Yeah,
of my design.
it just seems to me that that's such a waste annually, the cost of flowers. Flowers are very pretty, but to tell you the truth, I never noticed those flowers until they're being pulled out again. So
The
something,
clock, though, it costs $44,000 to put in that clock. And we did it 10 years ago. And it saves the community, at this point, about $30,000 a year. So it's paid for itself, and it's paid for a lot of flowers, too.
but once the flowers are replaced with something lovely like the mosaic, we want to know that expensive.
And I haven't priced out a mosaic. That may be a sky-high thing. So I'll work on that. But I would like some of your input on it, too. If you will stop by, I'll get you my card, and we can converse on that.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you. Anything else? Anyone else? Okay. Put on my glasses so I see what's next. Yes, the election and the ballot results. And I'm going to announce the results, but I ask that you hold applause until the very end so that we can hear what's going on, what's being said. And I will start by saying that we received 1,480 ballots, which is a low vote count. We normally are around 1,700 or so, so that's a low. And for the 2023 annual meeting minutes, we had 1,282 approvals and 10 vote denials, and so that's that. So I'm going to go down the votes by the most votes first, and I'll just go down the list and mention the number that each person received. So the person that got the highest votes at 1,185 was Bruce Garrison. Hold your applause, please. 1,008 votes, Marcy Rennell. 876 votes, Tim Davis. 764 votes, Max Allen. And I'd like to thank the following people. Bob Canero, he got 740 votes. Jerry Heschel got 664. Michael Garreau got 333, and Homer Landreth got 222. Thank you all for coming out, and please buy a pizza and a burger. You'll get an e-blast notifying of that. I hope you all have a great rest of your evening, and congratulations to the winners.
We will be serving refreshments out on the patio. Feel free to join us.